Hey guys, great question here this week from a student. She wanted to know, when you can factor and when you have to use the quadratic formula. So like, how do you know which is which and how do you determine that? So first of all, it's not a super simple answer. I am going to give you a strategy for it, but I mean, there are a couple of things to think about. One is that the quadratic formula will work every time. So if you just want a strategy that works every time, the quadratic formula will work. A lot of times it's more tedious. If you know how to factor, factoring is usually easier and faster, but factoring does not always work. There are solutions that are irrational, and factoring does not give you those solutions. And there are complex solutions that definitely won't be factorable. So anyway, quadratic formula will work every time. So just know that. But if you just want to know when can I factor, then you can always use the discriminant. The discriminant will tell you if it's factorable, and if it's a perfect square, it is factorable. So let's look at what in the world that means. So here's the quadratic formula, and here's the discriminant. And notice that the discriminant comes from the quadratic formula. It's that part underneath the radical. And so you're just plugging into that. And if that number is a perfect square, then it means you can factor that problem. So let's take a look at an actual example, and we're going to follow this pattern. Okay, so we're going to see, is this factorable, or would we have to use the quadratic formula to get our solutions? So remember that the discriminant is just b squared minus 4ac. So that's our formula that we'll use. And so, this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And so b squared minus 4 times a times c. We're just plugging into the formula. So b is 8, a is 3, and c is negative 60. Okay. All right. So let's see what we get there. We'll grab a handy dandy calculator. And let me put it on the screen where you can actually see it. All right, so 8 squared. Since it's positive, I'm not going to put that in parentheses. Minus 4 times 3 times negative 60 is 784. Okay, so 784. That's my discriminant. Now, the question is that a perfect square? Well, let's see. The square root 784. Let's see if we get a whole number. And we do. Yay. If we get a whole number, so let's see, square root of 784 is 28. That means it is factorable. We could factor this problem and get our solutions that way. That's what that means. That's the process. So I hope that's helpful to you, and I'll see you next time.